Nikki Haley is the clear choice for Trump's VP pick, so I'm sure he'll go full NAJ. A Trump-Haley ticket would present an olive branch extended between the GOP factions at war. Sadly, Haley's name has seemingly been excluded from the publicly circulated shortlists. In recent weeks, varying media sites have been putting out shortlists for Donald Trump's VP choice. Names like Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio and Reps Byron of Florida and Elise Stefanik of New York have gotten much attention as potential successors to the MAGA movement and possible Trump vice presidential pick. Trump has a couple of options. He could pander to potential voters by picking a candidate who appeals to a certain regional or demographic group. Or he could pander directly to his followers by choosing the candidate most aligned with his ideals to preserve the MAGA legacy beyond his final term in office. Trump's reported shortlist features mostly MAGA candidates and has sparked tremendous interest as we head toward the Republican National Convention next month. Now we are waiting for the name and the type of politician Trump will choose as his running mate. I believe that Trump's best choice is to pick somebody who can make voting for him more palatable. Moderates who dislike President Joe Biden but are turned off by the Trump persona could be a deciding force in the election. Trump could foreseeably bring in a portion of these sympathetic voters who are reluctant to vote for him, as it stands and needs somebody else to root for on the ticket. Will Gen Z pick Trump or Biden? Gen Z has the opportunity to decide 2024, but Biden and Trump make us want to sit out. Nearly 1 in 5 Republican primary voters in many states continued to vote against Trump, even after he was the sole candidate in the race. These protest votes could be a signal of voters who fall under the conservative umbrella, but will refuse to show up for Trump on Election Day. At the same time, these are probably the easiest voters to persuade to support a second Trump presidency, and it could be by something as simple as the right VP choice. The obvious choice for Trump and Republicans has been there all along. Nikki Haley, a former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations and a former South Carolina governor, put up respectable numbers in the GOP primary, even after she dropped out. Although she ultimately came up short, she won Vermont and Washington, D.C., while putting up a staunch fight in states like South Carolina and New Hampshire. While Trump's performance in the primary was nothing short of dominant, Haley's performance proves that her vein of GOP voters are willing to use their voice. This means that Haley, as the vice president pick, would give Trump the best path forward. A Trump-Haley ticket would represent an olive branch extended between the two factions of the GOP at war with each other. Trump's populist base would certainly take issue with it, but his supporters won't let any VP choice stand in the way of their vote for him. Sadly, Haley's name has seemingly been excluded from the publicly circulated shortlists. Given the hostility that her rivalry with Trump brought about in the primary, the Republican presumptive nominee may be reluctant to choose her. Trump is a horrible choice without somebody like Nikki Haley. Trump is the most controversial nominee choice for the GOP to have, and that scares moderates. In 2020, moderates broke for Biden, with 62% helping propel him to the White House. While the economic attitude of the country is certain to help Trump close that gap, he has other concerns. Trump trial shouldn't have happened. Trump was found guilty in a sham case DA Bragg never should have prosecuted. Now a convicted felon, Trump has a new struggle among the center of American voters. More than 20% of moderates, as well as 1 in 10 Republicans, have said that they are less likely to vote for him after a jury found him guilty on 34 counts of falsifying business records ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Trump as an alternative to Biden may be a no-brainer for most GOP voters. But for those on the fence, something as simple as a reasonable VP choice could be a deciding factor. Haley could help Trump. Trump's VP shortlist doesn't make him more palatable to voters. Instead, the best moderate option on Trump's shortlist appears to be South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. He is a proven legislator, having served in both the House and Senate, and is less extreme on topics that moderate voters might care about. Scott has the added benefit of being a black conservative, allowing Trump to parry many of the attacks GOP campaigns face on racial issues. Scott is a quality choice for vice president, especially when you compare him with others. The alternatives on the shortlist are far more concerning. Vance is an inexperienced Ohio senator who willfully departed from conservative principles on economics and foreign policy, favoring Trump's brand of America First *.